I am proud to stand here today to support the nomination of Chuck Hagel as our next Secretary of Defense, and I believe he will be confirmed by this chamber, I hope on a bipartisan basis, because he is, in fact, extraordinarily qualified for this position of unique trust and responsibility. And that is the criterion that we must apply. Is he qualified? We may have, probably each of us does have among us 100 senators, someone whom we would make our first choice, or a better choice, or the right person in our view. But that's not the question before us. It is whether he is qualified to be part of the President's team and to be held accountable for the policies that the President sets. Chuck Hagel is a decorated war veteran with 2 Purple Hearts. He is a highly successful businessman and entrepreneur, a real manager at a time when we need a manager in the Department of Defense. He is a former colleague as a member of this body, but he is also a former deputy head of the Veterans Administration. So he has really given his life to public service, and most especially to helping men and women in uniform while they serve this country in the military, and then when they come back to civilian life, helping them contribute and continuing to give back to this nation. And he is a Republican who has won the confidence of President Obama, and whom President Obama has chosen to be a member of his team. I have met with Chuck Hagel privately. I've asked him tough questions about Iran and Israel. I'm satisfied on those points that he will advise the President in accord with those policies, but even more important, I am struck by his passion, the intensity of his commitment to our men and women in uniform. His caring about them is indicated in so many ways, spontaneously and strongly, in his testimony as well as his private conversation. He will make sure that sexual assault in the military, the epidemic and scourge of rape and assault against men and women who serve and sacrifice for this country, will be stopped, that there will be, in fact, zero tolerance, not only in word, but in deed. And his viewing, for example, of the documentary Invisible War, his understanding that this kind of misconduct is an outrage, never to be even implicitly condoned, and to be treated as a criminal offense, the most extreme kind of predatory criminal activity, is important to the future of our military and our men and women in uniform. He is committed to making sure that women in combat, a policy of the President, is implemented forcefully and faithfully. He is committed to make sure that the policy of repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell is implemented zealously and vigorously. He is committed to making sure that PST, not only for the returning Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, but also for the veterans of his own generation, our Vietnam veterans, who had PST at a time when it was undiagnosed and, in fact, unknown as a condition resulting from combat. He is committed to making sure that they have the benefit of policies and practices that now we are implementing to deal with PST and traumatic brain injury. And he is committed, equally importantly, to making sure that the epidemic of suicides among our currently serving men and women in uniform and also our veterans is addressed forcefully. There are tragedies every day involving those suicides, families that lose loved ones, and a country that loses great public servants. And Chuck Hagel cares about those men and women. And he will see a person in uniform not as simply an officer or enlisted man, but as someone who will soon be a veteran, as part of a continuum. He is a veterans advocate with the USO, and he's won the respect and admiration of veterans groups. In addition, he's won the support of an extraordinary array of former secretaries of defense, ambassadors and diplomats, senior retired military leaders, and in particular, 2 former members of this body who appeared with him at his testimony, former Senators Warner and Nunn. I believe that Chuck Hagel is the right man for the challenges, the fiscal challenges, that will confront the Department of Defense. Put aside sequester, which I dearly hope will not happen. Secretary Panetta said it would be irresponsible for the Congress to allow it to happen. Many of us agree it must be avoided. But apart from that challenge in the next month or series of months, the long-term outlook for the Department of Defense is that it must do more with less. And Secretary Hagel, if he is confirmed, will have that management task, and he is one of the people in this country who is almost uniquely qualified to carry it out, and I believe that he will with great distinction. He will take care of our men and women in uniform and strengthen our national defense. He will do what he thinks is right, even if it's not popular. And he is, finally, as everyone has said, a good and decent man.